What's going on, guys? Ironcane here, back with the Roller Breakers Season 6 video, and in today's video, we're going to be looking at the Raider results from the previous ranked season. So, this I'm actually pretty excited about. This actually technically isn't just Raider, this is just entirely like Survivors and Raiders. So, presenting the results of the Season 5 ranked matches, data collection from the 9th of April till June 25th. Okay, so this is the Survivor rank distribution. Okay, so you can see that it's actually pretty steady in terms of going from A to S to Z. Z seems fairly populated at 5.8%. Is actually decently high, I feel like. I don't feel like getting Z5 as Survivor was difficult at all last season. You literally just had to play the game. I'm telling you, bro. I think I'm a pretty good player. I don't think I'm the best Survivor in the world. I thought it was easy to get Z5 as Survivor. I legitimately did not have to try. Did not even have to try. That might change this season. I think, definitely teamwork is way more, forced with the changes that they've implemented. But pre-mades still are king. The pre-mades are still king. You will get cooked by pre-made, and you'll wonder if there were even any nerfs to Survivors. So, but this data doesn't really surprise me all that much, but it seems like the most popular tier was A1, which makes sense because you can literally get A1 just by, like, playing the game. Like, you can't D-rank in, at B. I mean, I think you might be able to D-rank from A1 to B5, but you can't, like, D-rank from B5, essentially. So it makes sense that this is like the highest tier. But the fact that like Z5 is higher than like, A3, A4, A5, and like every single S rank kind of goes to show that it was not that difficult to get Z5 last season. So the fact that, we talked about this in the previous video, but the fact that they did not, change anything in terms of the difficulty for Survivor and Raider as well is insane to me. But we'll see what the Raider was. So 3.1 was Z5 for Raider. I'm actually surprised it's not lower. So in comparison, that's almost an extra like 3%. Now I don't know how like dramatic that is. But Z5 in general, or just Z rank in general, is steadily lower than it is for Survivor. Not by a massive amount, mind you, but it is, a noticeable amount. S rank is actually pretty close across the board, actually. And then A rank, surprisingly, B is actually the highest, with the 7.6, ironically. And then A rank actually being lower. B being the highest tier. I mean, I guess a lot of that is just, unfortunately, what this graph tells you is just like people kind of tapping out of the game. The reason why, A rank is so, populated and the numbers are so high for Survivor is because you're playing Survivor significantly more than Raider. You would like this to be like very similar, and the fact that it's not is a little concerning, in my opinion. Unless I'm like, misinterpreting the data, by all means, feel free to, give your own opinion in the comments. But, and to be fair, it's not like, it's not like this is like 1.4 and this is like, 7.8. But still, it is noticeable that there is like, a difference there. So here's the overall match results. Raider victory, where Survivors escaped, in total was 40%. Raider loss in total was 40%. Raider total victory, all Survivors being defeated, was 19.8%. So, it's even. It's even, but I think people finally started to see the light last season after a year of me, like, screaming and kicking and cursing that Raiders were not OP, I think people finally understood that I was right all along in Season 5. It took them a year and some change, but, you know, I'm glad people opened their eyes. So, in Z rank, this changed slightly. And Raider losses decreased. But in total, the numbers being this close goes to show that in the grand scheme of things, it was closer than people wanted to realize here. Okay. So what confuses me about this is that, like, what do these percentages mean at the bottom of the graph? Does that mean like 70%? Like, I'm just, like, that confuses me. Also, I'm recording this at, like, almost 3 in the morning, so apologies if I'm, like, these numbers are, like, kind of going a little bit over my head. So, Raider total victory is still, like, fairly low, in compared to, wait, am I? Oh, Raider victory, Survivor's Escape. Oh, okay. I was kind of misinterpreting. I'm sorry. Again, 3 a.m. This is all Raider. All this is Raider. So, the reason why this number is so high is because Raider victory, Survivors Escaping, is destroying the STM. And that was the play that you had to do with Raider, is that you destroy the STM and do your damnedest to live. So, and you saw here that, you know, losing and even doing that strategy was pretty close together. And then this is Z rank, how that changes. So total is the total of all the ranks being considered, right? So a total Raider loss, I'm saying total Raider loss, sorry, I'm describing this a little confusingly. So just to kind of like start from the beginning, total is C1 all the way to Z5. Z rank is just Z1 to Z5. So kind of just seeing what the higher, you know, tier of gameplay is versus, you know, just the whole game encompassing, right? So total victory, still, you know, on the bit of a lower side. It is about 10% higher at Z. And then Survivors Escaping is the highest, destroying STM, right? And the Raider loss, definitely decreased by a lot. But I'm telling you, this number is this high literally just because of the level 2 strat. Everybody kind of just adopted the level 2 strat and kind of just abused that as their way to kind of just win, but like not really. Because what would end up happening is that you would destroy the STM and just literally run away, and then like timeout would happen. So I think this makes sense. I think these numbers make sense. Survivor survival rate. So I'm curious if I'm going to eat my words or this is going to be like something that makes sense. So Survivor victory successfully defeated the Raider. Wow. At Z rank, this number dramatically goes up at 34%. Survivor successfully escape. Starting the Super Time Machine. Yeah, so at Z rank, total victory is higher than Raider total victory. I mean, this is kind of weird to make a comparison. Or I guess this would be like the comparison here. So like, yeah, so Survivor's losing was losing, by the way. You know, escaping by, well, yeah, I guess escaping by the escape time machine is losing, but you know, in terms of rank, it doesn't really matter, but it is what it is. But as you can see, it's a lot lower. Survivor's losing in Z, and even in general, Survivors just have a much higher win rate overall, which makes sense. I think playing Survivor was honestly a snooze last season. It was that easy. So it goes up in Z rank. So this is total victory. Beating the Raider. This is, so again, total is C to Z5, and then this is Z rank, Z1 to Z5. So orange is defeating the Raider. That one up a lot in Z rank. And escaping was higher and total, which makes sense, just because people not playing STM and whatnot. But it is wild that killing the Raider is more favorable than actually starting the Super Time Machine, which, in my opinion, or from my understanding of how this game works, I feel like Super Time Machine startup rates should be higher. Like, I feel like killing the Raider is supposed to be very difficult. And I feel like as the game progresses and as the game has gone on, it's been getting less and less and less and less difficult. I don't know if it's just a matter of the meta shifting, but I just feel like canonically, if that's even a weird thing to even consider, I feel like the STM is like how you're supposed to win in Breakers. You're correcting the timeline, right? Like, not like defeating the Raider, but either way is a victory for survivors. But yeah, I mean, this basically tells me that Raiders definitely had a harder time. Definitely had a harder time here. Even though these numbers are, different, keep in mind, a Raider victory where survivors escaped. It's like, it's winning but not. It's like winning but like, you're licking your wounds. Or like a total victory, well, I guess it depends on the context, right? Because when I see this, sometimes I'm thinking like you score the STM but the whole team escapes, right? It depends on the context, right? There's more like winning than losing depending on like how many survivors escape, in my opinion. But yeah, these numbers make sense to me. Again, I'm recording this at like 3 a.m., so apologies if like I'm kind of like talking in circles here. So this is gonna be interesting. Cell, Frieza, Majin Buu, Vegeta, Ginyu Force, Broly, Zamasu, Goku, Black. So for total victory, the Raider that had the highest at Z rank was Buu. Interesting. That's actually very interesting. Buu had the highest. I guess just because of the belly system. Yeah. Zamasu, Goku Black should be Survivor's Escape be the highest, like the STM strat. It's actually the highest. Yeah, at Z rank. Is it the highest at Z? No, actually. The highest is the Ginyu Force, surprisingly. Yeah, so total victory at Z. Who was the highest? It was the Ginyu Force. Wait. What the hell am I talking about? I'm so sorry. God, dude, why did I do the graph like this? This is mad confusing, man. Anyways, Raider total victory. Who had the highest? Yeah, it was Buu. It was Buu at Z. In total, just like all the ranks encompassed, it was not Buu. It was actually it's pretty close. Oh no, it was Buu. It was Buu again. Buu. Really? That's crazy to me. Buu over Goku Black and Zamasu? Buu was the best Raider last season? I find that insane. I find that absolutely insane. That's wild to me. And then second was Vegeta. Vegeta was the best Raider for total victory at Z. For like all the ranks, he was actually a bit on the lower side. And then I think second was Zamasu and Goku Black, which is interesting. Who had the lowest for Raider total victory? I'm curious. Like in general, so Frieza in total, which is crazy. And then does he have the lowest in Z rank as well? He does, I think. He does. Wow. Wow. Yeah, Frieza's the lowest. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So Broly, Broly is actually not as high as I thought he would be. I guess to be fair, in terms of total victory, he's not that like falling behind. But it's funny. For survivors escaping, Frieza, I think is... Oh, no, he's not the highest. Goku Black's the highest. Yeah, that makes sense because the level 2 strat. Actually, no, it was the Ginyu Force. How is the Ginyu Force the highest? Interesting. Yeah, then the Goku Black was second. Yeah, so sorry, just so you guys understand it, because it kind of confuses me. But orange is winning by destroying the STM. Yellow is killing all survivors. So obviously, the orange is going to be a lot more frequent than the yellow, just because, you know, you're not really gonna have that many blowout games, or I mean, you know, it's not gonna happen all the time, right? So these numbers definitely make sense for sure. But I'm actually surprised that like Frieza, according to this list, is like the worst performing raider in ranked. So kind of goes to show he's fallen off a little bit. Like more than Boo is crazy to me. Like I would have figured Boo would have been one of the worst. You know, surprisingly, Vegeta actually fared pretty well. So I'm surprised they gave him so many buffs. But he was one of the best faring raiders of last season, literally second to Majin Buu, which is very interesting. Okay, let's take a look at this. Raider usage rates. So Zamasu Goku Black, obviously the highest. In total, he was at 40%, and he was at 50% for Z rank, which absolutely makes a lot of sense considering the level 2 strat. And then next was Broly. Then the Ginyu Force. Then Vegeta. Then Majin Buu. Then Frieza. And then Cell. I wonder if people picked Buu when they were like, I don't know. Because I wonder if the fact that, like, Buu being so, like, infrequently picked, it's attributed to the fact that his numbers are higher. You know what I mean? Because maybe, like, people barely pick Buu, but when they did, they won. You know what I mean? As opposed to, like, Zamasu Goku Black being picked so often. Like, their numbers... You get what I'm trying to say? I don't know. But this is always interesting to look at. This is always very, very interesting to look at. I mean, just the fact that defeating the Raider is higher over STM is, you know, always interesting to me. I'm curious how this is, like, changed from Z5. I can pull that up, actually. Give me a sec. So this is how things have changed from Season 5 to Season 4. So I believe this is Season 5. This is Season 4, I apologize. So these are the numbers in comparison. So Raider total victory went down a little bit in Season 5. Raider victory where survivors escaped went up, so it's destroying the Super Time Machine. And Raiders losing completely went down a little bit in Season 5 as opposed to Season 4, which is interesting. Keep in mind, this is, like, you know, before crossplay and whatnot as well. And we had an influx of players in Season 4 with, you know, people coming over from PS Plus and whatnot. So in Z rank, Raider total victory went down, which absolutely makes sense. Destroying STM went up. And Raider loss went down by a little bit in Season 5. So this Survivor survival rate, we'll see how that has kind of changed. So total victory, defeating the Raider, beating the tar out of him. That went up by a percentage overall. And then in Z rank, it went up a good bit by like 4 points essentially. And then escaping was 12%. That stayed the same. Escaping pretty much stayed the same, but I think it went up more in Season 5 just because level 2 strat, I imagine. And people not defending STM. And then starting the STM is about the same. It's about the same. So here we'll look at the win percentage with Raiders. This is always very confusing to me, so I'm curious if they made it just as confusing last time. So Raider total victory is yellow. Hopefully they didn't change the colors. Yeah. So in Season 5, we determined that, or we found that Majin Buu was the highest for Raider total victory in Z rank, which is very interesting to me. And then Z rank, Boo was the highest last time as well. Boo was the highest last time as well. Broly was 33%. Now Broly is 28%. That went down a little bit in Z. And then for destroying the STM, who had the highest? Was it Boo still? Oh no, it was Frieza. It was, oh, wait, no. It was, wait. Was it Vegeta? It was Vegeta in Z. And then in total, it was still Vegeta. Vegeta was the best for destroying STM. And then for Season 5, Boo was the best. Or was he? No, he wasn't. Frieza was. Oh yeah, I forgot. No, the Ginyu Force was. And then in total, was it still the Ginyu Force? It was still the Ginyu Force. Interesting. Interesting, man. Very interesting. And then Raider usage rate, you know, Broly was the highest, but not as high as Goku Black and Zamasu. So, I don't know. Maybe you guys can analyze these numbers better than I can. I find it very confusing the way they kind of lay all this stuff out. I'll be honest with y'all. Like, I would just rather make two separate graphs than like include them on the same and like put everything so close and condensed. It's just very confusing in my opinion. But yeah, the best Raider appears to be Boo and Z rank. I couldn't recommend you playing Boo, dude. I couldn't recommend you playing Boo. I cannot wait to see the Season 6 results with Baby. It's gonna be so low, dude. Unless they update him, it doesn't seem like they are anytime soon. It's gonna be so low. But the worst Raider in Season 5 seems to be... Was it Frieza? I think it was Frieza, right? In Z rank anyway. In Z rank it was Frieza. In total, I think it was also Frieza. Yeah, Frieza. Frieza performed the worst. In terms of like a total victory, killing all the survivors. Like that's what's confusing about this is like, I wish they would just like combine these categories. You know what I mean? Because I'm just curious, like, because both of these counts as a win. So it's just confusing to kind of like split this up like that. I don't know. For me, I just don't really get that because like both of these count as a win technically. I would just kind of like to see a combine and then a split. Because then you would get a better picture of Raiders actually winning or losing. You know what I mean? I guess you would have to like combine all these numbers to get that. But Lord knows I'm not doing that shit. But yeah, guys, that's the data, and I compared some of it to, you know, Season 4's rank. But yeah, Majin Buu, for some reason, remaining king. I don't know why. Then I believe Goku Black was not as high as I thought he would be. Like, the Ginyu Force literally has higher STM destruction than he does. Not by much, but he definitely does. And then Buu is a little bit less and on that front, but not by much. So, very interesting. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Take care, stay safe, have fun. Peace out, dude. Peace out.